Welcome to Family Maker Camp. And today we have Andy and Reed from Steamlabs. They're going to be showing us some fabulous marble runs today. We also have a follow-up program on Tuesday at the same time, where we will be expanding on this marble run project and hopefully seeing what you have made at home. So you are on Family Maker, or you are watching Family Maker Camp right now. Here at Family Maker Camp, we're bringing you projects to do at home. We're trying to support and maybe guide parents in some of the hands-on learning. And we're featuring some awesome makers that will teach you new skills, show you new projects like Andy and Reed here from Steamlabs. Please check out our upcoming events at makercamp.com events, and you can check out our projects in our project library. So with that, welcome to Family Maker Camp. I am going to hand it over to Steve and Andy. And let's go to Andy.
Thanks, Anna. Yeah, so my name is Andy Forrest. I'm the co-founder of Steamlabs, and we're a nonprofit that's dedicated to ensuring that people have equitable access to science and technology, and they can think critically about it. I think that it's really important for people to have an understanding of technologies like artificial intelligence so that they can grow up knowing about how to use that as tools in their lives, and also know the societal impacts so they can have good discussions and be citizens that are advocating for good policies from governments and from companies. So I'm really pleased to be here today to talk about marble runs, and I'm here with my co-hosts from my family isolation bubble. This is Rory and this is Emmett. We're going to be showing off some cool marble run stuff. I actually wanted to first give you a bit of a Makerspace tour of our basement, because I always love seeing other people's workspaces. So I'm going to show you ours. So let me just switch my camera over here to my phone so I can do that.
All right. Okay, here I am in my other camera. So starting in the corner over here, we've got our section here is on okay, so over here we've got this is all of the kind of dangerous tools. So we've got soldering iron and drills, saws, all that kind of thing. And the kids know that it's different over here, that there's different rules. They have to ask, and they do ask. If they want to drill holes in something, they ask me, and we do that together. I think that's important in setting up any space, that it has good access, but also good rules for safety. And then we have all of computer things over here, of course. And in the corner here, we actually set up a fume hood so that we can do things like solvents and spray paints and have it filtered and exited out through the window. And now during our lockdown, we actually have our industrial laser cutter here at home, because we're not doing any physical programs anymore. So we can have that at home. It's a really great tool to have. Then over in this corner, we've got all of the kids' materials. So they have project storage here. They have just boxes full of balls and paper and sculpting supplies. And they know that any of these drawers, they can just access and just build whatever they want. And then we've got some 3D printers, essential tool. And here, the last step is our shop mascot. This is Snap. Important to have a mascot. So this is the marble run here that we're going to be showing off. So guys, do you want to demonstrate the marble run here?
Oh, okay, whatever.
So we've got a servo that's controlling a starting gate here, and there's a microcontroller hooked up to that makes it voice activated. And you can see that there's some toys that they've integrated into the marble run as well. So yeah, you can activate the train now if you want. Whatever you got at home, you can set up. All right, do you want to do the voice activated starting gate there, guys? Great. Traffic jam at the top. And you can see here that we've made a really long marble run you can use whatever kind of boxes that you've got at home to make this. We happen to have some shelf boxes, which is really convenient for making a really nice long one, but you can just have anything cascading together. We started this project, it was just for us. And the kids made all kinds of obstacles and baffles and things and traps. And then we started to realize we wanted to share this with the world. So then you'll see, Reed will show you some of the more advanced things in a second. We've got lots of tutorials and templates on the website that you can use to download, print out, tape or glue onto cardboard, and then use that as a guide to cut out. And you can create all of these interesting mechanisms like these pegboards and the starting gate and spinners and ball deflectors and all that. There's also a tutorial for doing an AI scoreboard. So this is a really great tool from Google called Teachable Machine, where you can tell it what you want it to recognize. So you can see here, I've got my webcam aimed at the ending point of all the marbles. And then I've made some different categories here of no marbles, some marbles, and many marbles at the end. And then I've taught the AI to recognize that by just taking lots of pictures of that situation. And you click on train, you export the model, and then you can put it into a custom HTML page that we've created here that you can then use your AI to recognize those different situations. So right now there's a lot of marbles in the end, so it's recognizing that many marbles is the winner. So that's our overview of the marble run and the different technologies in it. So next I want to introduce Reed, who's going to show you some of the more advanced bits and pieces and give you some tips on how to assemble them. So take it away, Reed.
Hey there, everyone. My name is Reed Richard, and I've been with Steamlabs for about 4.5 years now, most of which has been volunteering on my days off. But for the past year, I've actually been hired on as a maker educator and digital fabricator on the side. This means that I wear a lot of hats, from designing activities like this awesome marble run activity that you're about to have fun with, or even to teaching classes to young makers and inventors such as yourselves. But I've always had a love for making. Even at a young age, I was taking things apart, much to my parents' distress, and now I get to do that for a living. And everything I know from this job, I learned from other makers in our space, or even from the other kids I've been teaching. It's a learning as we go process, and we learn something new every day. And that's true with this job, whether it's coding electronics or using a laser to cut awesome materials, or even 3D printing, I'm having a blast with whatever I do. Now, with that being said, I'm going to get started by showing off some of the cool activities that we made. Two I'm going to start featuring today are our marble lift, which will help raise your marbles up into the air and launch them to another part of your platform, and what I've also called a lane changer, which is going to help us switch in between lanes. So here, so as you can see here, we've built a structure that has a base here, and when I press this flipping lever right here, it's going to raise the platform up in the air. And when I place a marble on it, I'm able to, it rests on the flipper here, and I'm able to flip it in the air. And it'll ride up through this tower, up into this chamber here, and we'll follow this hole, which you can place below any other objects or any other parts of our marble run. But now I'm going to show you the most complicated part from what I found about this marble run is the platform lifter here. Now, how this works is I'm going to show you with this. It's actually very simple inside. It's based simply on a little fulcrum lever and a raising platform like this. The raising platform is the part that I found most people might have difficulties with. So what you want to do is, from the design template that we've left out, is you want to take the square pace E and you want to cut down some popsicle sticks. You're going to want to cut down 4 pieces to the size of 4 centimeters and 4 pieces down to the size of 3.5 centimeters. Now, you're going to take 2 of these pieces and glue them together. So as you can see here in my video, they're stuck together real nice and tight. This is going to add a thick, strong piece of wood. Now to start, you're going to take your 3.5 centimeter pieces of wood and glue it just to the bottom of the piece so you can see a little bit sticking out at the end. Once you have that, I want you to take your 4 centimeter piece of popsicle stick and glue it across. So now it's going to stick out just past the sides of the cardboard. When we glue this in, this is going to act as the guide, which will go up and down on this hole that I've made here. Now, to make this move up and down is where the hole on the side comes into place. So we should have our straw that we've cut up into a smaller piece and a bamboo skewer. The straw is going to go in between the pieces of cardboard, and the skewer goes in between, holding it in place. Now, why this is important, you're going to take another popsicle stick and you're going to position it inside like this. So you've got your platform lifter in place, and now when you have your straw in the middle, I want you to take your popsicle stick and kind of make sure that it's just hanging over the wood here, but is also sticking out the other side. Because when it's sticking out like this is the part that the marble lift tower is going to press down on and lift it. Another cool activity, though, that I wanted to show off while I still have some time is our lane changer. See, this works just by simply pressing this button right here, and is going to move our platform or move our flipper back and forth. So when I put marbles on it, as you can see, it'll go down a different path each time. Now, the part that I think that people are going to have the most difficulty with, sorry about that, is on the back. If we look at our mechanisms, it looks like there's a lot there to be jumbled about, but it's really not that complicated. The only part that I think people might have a bit of trouble with is right here on the side, with the part that I've called the button guide. Now, you're going to take your flat piece of cardboard, which should have its dotted lines on it, which I need you to lightly cut, which means you're going to be able to bend the cardboard, but you can see that it's still kind of attached. So if you bend all these pieces and glue it properly, you can see that it ends up as a rectangle piece. Now you want to make sure that the glue is on the outside, because the part that I think people have the most trouble with is if there's a bit of glue on the inside, it's going to get stuck and kind of jam up a little bit like mine. Don't feel bad. Take a few times of trial and error. It might take a little bit to realize that you've got the best button guide. And now, lastly, the part that I just want to show you is how to put it all together. And to do that is once you have your flipper pieces, see, we've glued our 3 pieces together and we've glued our popsicle sticks on the side. The hard part with this is just simply taking your peg that we've cut down from our chopstick or a dowel and putting it through the hole. And you want to make sure that it's not sticking out the other end. It's just popping through. See the same that I've done with the moving block piece here? And now to position it, all you want to do is thread it through the top. And now when we flip it over, we have our guides. And you're going to want to put your moving block so it fits just over this guide. Now, we don't want to glue this just yet. We want to make sure that our flipper is able to move back and forth. So when our moving block is set directly in the middle of this guideline, make sure that your flipper is on the left-hand side against the wall. And now you can add just a little bit of glue here, and that'll strengthen it enough that when you move the moving block piece, it'll move the flipper as well. And now we've got one more special cool add-on to add on to our marble runs here, but Andy and a special guest are going to show you exactly what this is. This is called a Circuit Playground Express, and it's going to add electronics and a whole nother level of coding to your marble runs. So take it away, Andy.
All right. Thanks, Reed. So yeah, so we have the next step we're going to do. Rory is actually going to show us some coding. So we use this coding mechanism in Steamlabs in a lot of our different programs, and I want Rory to show it to you because it's really easy to use, and I want you to see that. So this is called MakeCode, and it's basically a coding instruction system that is drag and drop blocks instead of typing in scripts. It's real coding language though. All of the same concepts are there, if statements, repeat loops, all of that, except that you don't have to remember how to type all the exact syntax anymore. So yeah, go ahead and click on Circuit Playground Express. You can see there's lots of different kinds of hardware that it supports there. Microbits are very popular in schools. We use the Circuit Playground Express and recommend that because it has a lot more sensors on it, like temperature sensor, sound sensor, motion sensor. It also has colored LEDs on it, which is super fun too. So we're creating a project with that. Now you can see there's a menu here of all kinds of different types of coding blocks. So we're going to use the input block here because we want this to our code to activate when it hears a loud sound. Because what we're programming here is the sound activated starting gate. So that when you say on your mark, get set, go, it lifts up the servo gate and activates. So on loud sound, we want to activate. And this is the servo command that Rory's found here. Yep, put that servo command in there, great. And it'll go right inside of the loud sound event handler there. Wonderful. And you can see there's a number 90 there. That's the angle it's going to move the servo to when it activates. So we found that around 45 is a good angle for it to move to. So that's all set. Now we also need a way to reset the starting gate back to the starting position when you want to reset it. So we're going to use a button for that. You can see that up there at the top, there's a button handler. On button A, click. There's 2 buttons and a switch. So you could have all kinds of user interaction in there. Great. We'll drag that one out. Wonderful. And then we want to also activate the servo code inside of that event handler as well. So we'll get that servo command again. Great job, Rory. That in. And we found that 135 was a good angle to move the servo to, 135, to open up reset the gate back down to the starting position. Great. And that's it. So, but there are other things we could do. We're not going to the moment, but Rory, what are some of your favorite things to add in? If we had more time, what would we add in there? Would you add in, yeah, lights are fun. There's music and sound. There's all kinds of different things you could activate in there too. Okay, so just click on the download button there. And now this is going to load it into our microcontroller. And click save. Excellent. Now I'm going to switch our camera back here so that we can see this guy in action. Let's stop the sharing here. Okay. It looks like we just disconnected from Zoom there. So we will just do that again. We were just testing out the servo gate. So let's do it again, guys. On your marks, get set, go. So you can see that on loud sound, our event handler triggered and it opened up the starting gate and activated. So that's it for our live tutorials. We wanted to open up this now to questions from people to see if there's things that people were having trouble with, if they'd already started with our tutorials, or if they had any questions from the things that we just showed them. We can do that, and also we could just play with our marble runs and show off that kind of thing too. So let's see if there's any questions that came in first. Sienna, do you see any questions come in on any of the social feeds? maybe we will show off the marble run while we're waiting for that to happen. I'll switch over to my other camera and we can go into the marble run over here.
There we go.
Oh,
So we are checking for questions on the channels. I have not seen very many come in, but we can make up our own.
Excellent. That is always good.
So one question that we have from Facebook is, where can you get Playground Express?
Oh, that's a very good question. So the Circuit Playground Express is made by Adafruit, which is my favorite electronics manufacturer. They're located in New York. If you go to adafruit.com, you can see all of their products. There's a link to it on the servo-activated starting gate page on the Steamlabs site as well. So you can order it. They are prioritizing COVID-related orders at the moment, but they now are shipping other stuff too. So you can order one of those on there. And they have a whole bunch of other components too. So you can get the servo motor that you need for that from Adafruit too. And if there's any other kind of bits that you'll see as you're shopping, then you can get some things like that too. I usually recommend getting a bunch of servos. That's fun. NeoPixels are RGB LEDs that you can activate from the Circuit Playground Express. That's another good one to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
And responding to AJ on YouTube, right now you are watching Family Maker Camp, and we are here with Steamlabs doing some fantastic marble run projects. We will be revisiting this project also on Tuesday and diving in a little bit deeper, and also hopefully seeing what you have made at home. From Facebook, Kathy has also advised us that you can get Adafruit CPX faster from DigiKey right now. So thank you.
Oh, that's a good tip. Thanks very much. And follow up on one thing Sienna just said there too about just sharing your builds. Really excited to see what you guys build and what you fail at. That is even more important, I think, than actually sharing the builds. Is I'd love to see the things that didn't work, and then we're going to share that on the next session on Tuesday. So send in pictures, videos through Instagram, Twitter, however you want, and we'll compile some of those. We'll answer your questions as quickly we can, and then by showing the fails, we show other people just your process and what you figured out and what you discovered as you went.
I can show some of my fails as well. I've spent the past 3 weeks building these, and while the website does have a good 9 or 10 of them to show off, there's probably just as many that aren't quite as ready yet. But maybe I might show those off. It might give you the ideas that you need to kind of advance and build it. But also, Andy, what would happen if people don't have enough cardboard to work on? What other materials could they use?
Oh yeah, good question. So lots of other stuff works. So like cereal boxes are a nice kind of stiff cardboard you can use for things. Foam core is an amazing material to work with. You of course can use wood if you're able to work with that as well. Yeah, those are the ones that come to mind.
Yeah, so there's plenty of things around the house. So if you don't have cardboard or mailboxes coming in, there's plenty of stuff that you can use to improvise that'll work just as well.
Good point.
All right. Well, I think we will wrap this up, and thank you so much for watching on our Marble Run project on Family Maker Camp. Please show us what you've made, #MakeTogether, #MakerCamp, and we will be displaying those on next week's episode on Tuesday, same time, same place. Maker Camp is supported by the members of Make Community. So if you like the programming that you see here, please support us today make.co. And thank you so much for joining.
Thanks, everyone.
All right. And we will end the video.